from it. And at about 6 o'clock Eastern, if you told me we'd have this in the A block, I'd wonder what the hell happened. Well, here's what happened. The Giants largely control this football game. They lead 7-0. It's 3rd and 11. Here comes Cam Scadaboo, and he wants to make sure, boom, you can take that with you. He's going to deliver a blow and get his touchdown. Jude McAtomney. Oh, that's no good. It's just long enough that it's not a given. 13-0. So what? You're about to add to it as Tyrone Tracy here has a gigantic opening. That's as easy a score as you're going to see in the league on Sunday. Credit to that O-line. They go for 2. This would prove significant. Wan'Dale Robinson just shy of the goal line. But at this point, late third, you're up 19-0. Big whoop. Well, as it turns out, J.K. Dobbins, a toss left, and they've done nothing to this point. Nothing. Now, early fourth, Bo Nix. Something. This is the deflection off of Sutton. Does he get an assist on that? Troy Franklin touchdown. Go for 2. They get it. 19-8. Now 3rd and 17. Here's the deflection to Theo Johnson. And he's gone. So after Denver has that little glimmer of hope, it seems to have been fade to black with this. Giants up 26-8. 1,605 consecutive games where teams had an 18-point lead or greater in the final 6 minutes meant that team won. Denver cares not about my stupid graphic. Here comes Nix. He'll roll, takes it in. Again, they go for 2. Again, they get it. Now a 10-point game. Next Giants possession, we're under 5 to go. Dart, that's not a good throw. Justin Strnad picks it. Denver, an opportunity very quickly to score again. Broncos with Nix, same idea. This time he throws to R.J. Harvey, the rookie. And it's now a 3-point game. Ensuing Giant drive. And this is a very quick 3 and out as he's looking deep for Robinson. Overthrows him. Broncos, 3rd and 11. This is as big a throw and big a moment as there was in this game. It's one of those classic underthrows where Marvin Mims Jr. sees it, makes a great play on it. Denver's in field goal range, but here goes Nix again. What a great play design, and he has got a wide open alley, and stunningly, Denver has the lead. But this young team, led by a couple of rookies in part on offense at key positions, they don't fold. This is 4th and 19. Dart to Robinson. A roughing the passer adds 15. Later in the drive, 3rd and 10. Missed extra point earlier, looming large because a field goal won't tie. Dart's got time because Denver's deploying most of their folks back deep. Looking for Bo Collins. PI is called on Riley Moss. That's tough. Sean Payton's livid. He knows it's a spot foul, so he can come out there and get his money's worth for that 15 because it's only going to move the ball a little bit. Dart up the middle. Initially, they said no. They take a look and realize that's a touchdown. Knees are up, hips not down. Ball crosses the line. Dart's going nuts. Extra point. And that's pushed wide right. The second missed extra point of the game, which now means Bo Nix, who's suddenly red hot in the thin air, if you can get to about here, you're in field goal range. Mims Jr., a gain of 29. Now it's Sutton, and you're for sure in field goal range. And it's Will Lutz, out of timeouts, clean operation, don't anyone jump, keep your poise, clock it. And now we need the kick to finish off this improbable victory. Snap, hold, toe meets leather, and Denver stunningly walks it off with a victory. Bo Nix on the comeback.
I was thinking about how I was going to answer questions if we got shut out. Not where you want to be. And, at some point I knew we've done it before in the fourth quarter. We're going to, at some point we're going to go down and score. Now, maybe too late, we may not score enough, but at some point we're going to do it. We did it once we scored and got the 2-point conversion. We knew how to play all of a sudden. So It was just, I don't have many answers, but, we just kept fighting.
Including Denver's victory on Sunday, teams who trail by 18 inside of 6 minutes now, 2 and 3,677 since the merger. The other to pull off this feat, the 2003 Colts against the Buccaneers. Wasn't that Monday Night Football? I believe it was. On the losing side, you saw how upset the head coach was, and you can understand. Here's Brian Dable and Jaxson.
Tough loss. Put their heart and soul into it. So, not a lot of talking that needs to be done when you lose a game like that. Everybody gave everything they had.
Were you beating yourself up over the interception?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do that. We were in full control of the game. In that situation, you can't do that. I gotta be way better than that. I mean, that's unacceptable. Yeah, I gotta be better.
Tim with us, as promised. Something like this can only happen if you stack many, many factors, obviously. But Bo Nix, he said it. I'm thinking, how do I answer questions after we get shut out? He and they had nothing going. And the analogy I made when I walked into the studio tonight is it felt a little bit like a three-point shooter, a really good three-point shooter who can't buy one, and then one goes in, and then it's the ocean. Is that a fair way to describe how Denver got this cooking, at least the offensive portion of it?
I mean, it feels like it. Look, I've heard people describe quarterbacks that way. I can't say I've ever played with one, been around one that was like that. I feel like you and I have talked about Bo Nix as being kind of streaky in the past. I mean, last year, he'd rip off 15 completions in a row, and then other games look like, what's he looking at? I think clearly when you hear him talk, there's a confidence about how I think he feels like he's seeing the game right now. And listen, sometimes there's some good fortune. You mentioned it with the tip pass that goes for a touchdown. I think the ball that, the play we just saw prior to that one, I actually think he's throwing to the in cut. He
looked like
hits the clear route running inside of it. But there's also a confidence, I think, about him. And I would just say this. Haven't been around somebody who's been streaky, but have struggled, have seen guys struggle. It is hard to pull yourself out of that. I don't know what it's like in basketball. You see one go in and it changes it. It doesn't really work that way in football. In football, you feel like you're playing uphill. It feels like there's 15 defenders out there. So pulling yourself out of that is remarkably difficult. I think that was what was impressive about how he stuck with it. 14 minutes in the fourth quarter,
right.
They were basically shut out until that point.
That's great context, and it makes a lot of sense because it's not the same as making a shot, but clearly the fuse got lit and they win. I don't want this to sound like loser talk, and I'm sure Dable would punch me in the face if he heard me say it. But the Giants did a ton good in this football game. I get that you lose, you miss a couple of extra points, but can New York, who takes on Philadelphia and then San Francisco and then at Chicago coming up, I mean, it's a pretty rugged schedule. But there seems like there's a lot there to like. Am I wrong?
Look, they've lost their best wide receiver for the season. Mm-hmm. They started the year with Russell Wilson as their starter. You look at them play right now, it's the quarterback's grittiness and competitiveness and playmaking ability. It's the